A title: Coordinated Community Response Teams. Lisa Furr, Program Coordinator, Office of the Virginia Attorney General.
Coordinated Community Response is a group of agencies who are interested in affecting systems change on a broad scale and looking at how that region, that jurisdiction responds to elder abuse or domestic violence or whatever the topic of the response is, in a way that looks at the big picture. We also oftentimes have multidisciplinary case reviews or multidisciplinary teams that look at the detail and the nitty-gritty of investigating an ongoing case or reviewing a case that has already happened. So I've seen the coordinated community response as, if you will, a map that's been highlighted to get you on your journey from point A to point B. And the multidisciplinary case review team is more your GPS that's telling you what's the next step. So they're different and they're both very important, but the makeup of both of those organizations would be different because the coordinated community response would be made up of individuals from those agencies that could affect that systems change rather than having to take it back and talk to 2 or 3 other people at their agency. And the multidisciplinary case review team would be looking at the frontline folks who are actually working with the victims.
Juanita Davis, Program Manager, National Clearinghouse on Abuse in Later Life, End Domestic Abuse, Wisconsin.
I think systems change work is very important in responding to elder abuse because it allows for a more fundamental conceptual analysis of what is happening to older adults, and it's allowing for that more comprehensive and more holistic analysis to occur, and that therefore it can create a more fundamental shift in the way that we treat older victims and elder adults in general. It can also lead to more understanding about what people's roles and responsibilities are in abuse in later life cases, and it can really help communities come together on a common purpose and common issue and achieve broad-ranging and broad-sweeping positive outcomes.
Can you talk about some of the challenges in trying to do those sorts of activities or create those structures?
I think collaboration in this context can be challenging in a number of ways. For example, you might find that collaborative partners really don't understand each other's roles or responsibilities in responding to abuse in later life cases. You might also find that collaborative partners really don't understand each other's language or the lexicon that they use to talk about abuse in later life. One person, two different collaborative partners from 2 different systems or organizations may be using different acronyms for the same thing. So you don't often know that going into it. Another challenge might be that collaborative partners really don't have misperceptions or misconceive what others can do in abuse in later life cases and what they should do in abuse in later life cases. So that can be a challenge that folks face. In addition, you might find that a challenge may be that you don't necessarily share the same paradigm about what it means to come to a positive resolution in an abuse in later life case. So those types of challenges can certainly exist amongst these types of collaborations. And I think some strategies that you can use to overcome those challenges are things like coming up with a shared vision and purpose and goals for the collaboration, so you all come together and discuss what the preferred outcomes are and how you're going to attain those outcomes. You can also develop some types of ground rules about how you will interact with one another, what your expectations might be in the collaboration, and also find ways to, within those ground rules, resolve conflicts that are certainly come up for folks as they're dealing with these tremendously complex cases. In addition to that, I think collaborations like this present a wonderful opportunity for cross-training amongst collaborative partners around what folks do and what they don't do, what they're able to do and what they, or are doing now and what they can do, perhaps pushing people to the limits around what they think they can do in these cases. And finally, I think what is really key in terms of addressing challenges in these types of collaborations is really keeping the central foci as being victim safety and holding offenders accountable. And I think when you have those foci, you're certainly on a better path to ensuring that your collaboration has a good direction and a real North Star for what they're trying to accomplish.
Logos appear. NCALL, www.ncall.us. Terra Nova Films, terranova.org. Funded by the U.S. Department of Justice, Office on Violence Against Women and Elder Justice Initiative. www.justice.gov/elderjustice. A disclaimer. This project was supported by grant number 2014 AXTA K050, awarded by the Office on Violence Against Women and by the Elder Justice Initiative, U.S. Department of Justice. The opinions, findings, conclusions, and recommendations expressed in this program are those of the authors and do not necessarily reflect the views of the Department of Justice, Office on Violence Against Women, or the Elder Justice Initiative.